So, yes, I made like a whole slideshow for this. It's probably not gonna go according to plan because, that's not what happens. But
It's all right. It's all right.
so, first topic is like, you know, George Jones and Loretta Lynn versus like Luke Bryan and Blake Shelton and Kane Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts? I don't even know if you listen to country music that often.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
So I don't anymore because I don't like the newer country.
We'll see, and this is the issue when it comes to certain things like this. Is like when you talk about country, the definition of country music has changed, like
Right,
drastically.
because like George Jones versus
Mm-hmm.
Luke Bryan,
Mm-hmm.
they're both considered country music, but
But they have
they're
totally
so
different tones.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the creative process and just the sound that they create is totally different. Modern, in my opinion, modern country, I don't even think you can count as country. It's like it's
Right.
it pop country. There's
Right.
no other better way I can say it. It's literally like there's more pop elements than country music.
Uh-huh. And that's like the main reason why I don't listen to country music anymore is because it's not country anymore.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
mm,
I listen to like some artists, like I listen to Kane Brown, but I would even put Kane Brown more in like not country or pop. I'd put him in like hip hop or like R&B type because
well,
he's
that's the funny
closer
part.
to older country, but he's still not old country, and
Yeah.
what he sings about doesn't sound like country music to me.
And that's the funny part too is like when you think about country, like when you think about country music, you
Hmm.
think about sad songs,
Right.
you think about, Neon Moon, that stuff, you know.
That was a good country accent you put in there.
I'm a southern boy, so it's there naturally. I just don't let it out
You're
sometimes.
like, we just tucked that back.
Yeah, I'm from the South, but my father's from New Jersey.
Mm.
So it doesn't really come out unless I'm with my
I
mom.
am Northeastern born and raised. I don't know if that shows in my voice, but
um, but like I don't know. It's like new country now. It still talks about the same old stuff. It's
it's got
just
a
it's
different
more
tone.
pop oriented. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pop. It's not.
Well, okay, so my
I don't even know how to place it to be honest.
right, exactly. My like when I think of like old country, I okay, people were giving me shit for this. I
Uh-oh.
used to be thinking of like Johnny Cash,
Johnny
which
Cash.
he's
See,
more
that's the
like
thing.
folk country. He's not like country, I
But
guess.
here's the thing though, is like country music, when you look at it as a whole from any different timeline, country
Mhm.
music is not just country music. There is an element
Right.
of something else that everyone correlates with it. Like when you look at Johnny Cash is folk country, but Johnny Cash is also blues.
Yeah.
Like he's country blues.
Mhm.
He's very dark toned, very
But
like
people were
dark.
giving me shit for calling Johnny Cash country.
That's because people orientate Johnny Cash more with blues,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But
Like
he
if
is
I was to talk,
country.
technically yes. When
Right.
you look at the standpoint, like when you look at like old country, what does it correlate? You have a guy, you have a guitar, you have a sad subject, and he's singing,
It's not
right?
always sad, but it's usually sad.
It's not always sad, but country is normally like somber toned and somewhat melancholy.
Yeah. Unless
Like
we're
I
talking about
can't
summertime, and then it's super happy. But that's like the
here's
only
the
happy subject that country music ever touches on.
Well, see here, yeah, that's the thing. Is like that's the other thing. Is like they're only happy when they're talking about chasing a woman, or
Or the crops
summer,
grew in.
or the crops growing, spending time on the field. Like I'm not shitting. Like this, I can't think off the top of my head where a country song doesn't talk or a baby being born.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every country star has a song about
About
their
their
child being
baby.
born.
Yep.
Yeah. And granted, more power to you. You want to write a song about your child, that's great. A child is a blessing. But every country singer does it. And that's the
Hmm.
only time I've ever heard country music be happy, unless you're Florida Georgia Line.
But Florida Georgia Line, That's that one. I can't even. I don't even know if I count them as country, to be honest. They're they're nowhere near. Even though they have southern twang, you can have a southern accent and you can still not make country. Florida Georgia Line, in my opinion, is like they're the Nickelback of country.
First of all,
Wait. Let me finish what I'm saying. They make some good music, but somehow for some reason they became the joke of the system.
okay,
Because
I
I
guess
I don't
because it's like
remember.
cool to hate Nickelback,
That's the thing. Like
which
I don't
bothers me because I
ever.
love Nickelback.
Yeah, and Nickelback
Nickelback?
Nickelback has actually came back and made some like good tunes. The the problem is I don't know when or where it happened,
I don't either.
but they just became the joke of rock and roll
I used
music.
to get okay. I used to get like I wouldn't say violently angry, but like unreasonably angry when people told me they hated Nickelback.
um,
Because for what reason? Like why?
I to be honest, I don't know.
Exactly. Like
I
where
don't
did it
know
come? Why is it
because
cool to hate Nickelback?
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know when it became a trend to just dog on Nickelback, but everyone jumped on that train and they've been riding that train for
Which
decades.
is not fair.
It's not fair because like they came back and made some new music and I was like when I heard it for the first time I was like, "Oh my god, this is Nickelback?"
did
I was like,
you
"Where was
did
this?"
you hear that they turned Rockstar into a sea shanty?
Yes.
It's so good. So back to the actual topic of country music that isn't country music anymore. Also, I really like the photos on the now side of this picture because for whatever reason, Brad Paisley is being soaked in water. Rascal Flatts is on
Oh my god, Rascal
there,
Flatts.
and that picture of
Okay.
Keith Urban is about 10 years old. So
Okay. So I'm gonna put this on here right now. Rascal Flatts. If it wasn't for Rascal Flatts, I don't think we would have had Taylor Swift. Because in my opinion, Rascal Flats were like the head, like the train that brought super pop into country, and that's when country stopped being country.
okay,
Cause like when we
so
got Life
I
is a Highway, I was like, this ain't country.
I would agree that that is close to accurate because I would say that like Rascal Flatts started as like more traditional country, like their
Mm-hmm.
earlier songs, and then as they kept going, as most artists do, they kind of like shifted to fit the vibe
Yeah.
of what people were listening to.
Well, see, and that's what it boils down to is like,
Because I would argue that what hurts the most is like the best country song ever. Like I don't know anybody that doesn't know that song.
what hurts the most
Was being so close. Okay, I can't
It's
sing, but
like,
it's fine.
oh my god, that song! I'm telling you.
Right?
I'm
I don't know anybody that doesn't know at least the chorus of that song.
But see, that's what I'm saying. When you look at stuff like George Jones and Loretta Lynn, and then you look at, Rascal Flatts, Luke
Yeah.
Bryan,
I mean,
what
yeah,
it
like that's
is,
still so different.
yeah, what it is though, it's just it's the generations changing.
Yeah.
Like no one in our generation, well, I can't say no one, is that not every there's a very small amount of people in our generation and generations behind us that are going to want to listen to stuff like George Jones
well,
because
and
that's
like
just what country music was at the
well,
time.
and the whole thing with like, oh, old music is so like sexist and blah 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 blah. Like, I mean, no, kind of, but that's
When you look at the era that it's coming out of, the
it makes
entire like
sense.
before the 1990s,
Right.
everything was sexist.
Right.
I hate to break it to
It
you.
makes sense for when it was made. And
Our
that's how
our
new country music is too, is it makes sense for when it's being made.
yeah.
Because we as a generation are more aware of sexist language, of like sexual harassment language. Like Baby It's Cold Outside. People went crazy over that song all of a sudden. They were like, this
Mm-hmm.
song is so bad. And I'm like, dude, first of
Yeah.
all, I love that song.
I love that song.
It is a little weird if you like actually think about it, but if you then take 2 extra seconds to think about the year it was made,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, think about it too. Is like when you listen to the words, you know. But when you look at the words of back in the day, it's like,
Right.
yeah, you know, he's got this girl that came over, and there's a snowstorm outside.
Right, he's trying to keep her safe by not letting her leave, but then there's the line of, hey, what's in
there's
this
also-
drink?
Yeah, but there's also
Which
the
is probably
alternate
just
agenda.
alcohol. I mean, yeah, then there's also the alternate agenda, but
Like, when my thing is like, yes, you can be upset about some things, but it's like when you start looking too deep into something, wanting to find a problem,
you're gonna find a problem.
You're gonna find a problem that most likely is not even there.
Right.
So, like, stop
Like, if
fucking ruining
nobody-
it for everybody else.
If like all of a sudden the snowflakes didn't dig into that song, I'm sure it probably wouldn't have ever been a thing. I just also
Yeah.
realized that my stream timer's not going. Let's fix that.
You're live.
I know, but my timer isn't like accurate.
Yeah, what's in this drink is a hyperbole,
Right.
you know?
Like, I'm pretty sure it's talking about alcohol, if we're being honest.
It is alcohol. Like, you have
But
two
like
adults.
everybody's like, "Oh my god. He
Yeah,
put
you're like,
drugs
you
in
have-
her drink." No, he didn't. You stupid
Yeah,
shit.
like you have two adults. I hate to break it to you, new generation, but back in the day, that's how you romanticize the woman.
Alcohol?
Not drug, no, not alcohol, not drugs in a drink. But if you were on a date and she just happened to come over, that was like, hey, okay, she took the time to come in and like spend time with me. Like back in the day, people didn't have texting.
Right. So we're gonna take that comment from your chat.
What happened?
Nowadays, the majority of people have more of an issue with songs from 20 plus years ago and see no issue with some of the songs that come out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fucking WAP? Why?
Yeah.
Why does that song need to exist?
You know, this is where I stand on this. Is like, I don't have an issue with people making music.
Me either.
Unless there is like a general like problem with it. Like,
Well, yeah.
if you're being blatantly ignorant in your music, like I've heard some stupid shit come out, it's just like, why did that happen? You know, but it's like if you're all about like certain things, you know, like women empowerment or, you know, like where you stand
Right.
or, you know, body positivity, you have a voice, and music is your voice to share it. But there are some things I literally look and it's just like, I'm going to question this because why do I need to hear about your WAP?
Okay, and
I
then
don't
there's the
care.
other side of things. Okay, we're just gonna click to the next one because we're not talking about country anymore.
Well, that's because country is a very short term.
Yeah. Anyway, that's done. But like okay, parents love to make the arguments, my kid shouldn't listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let your kid listen to it.
Yeah.
Like, Lil Nas X, Montero, not a song for children.
Hey, I'm going to let you know right now. Like I said, everyone has their freedom of speech.
Right.
Everyone does. But it is not the artist's fault for you allowing and not monitoring what your kids are
listen
doing.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
there are reasons why there are parental guidelines and parental settings on music apps. Am I like a huge fan of Lil Nas X? No, not really.
I love
But that
him.
doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and be like, yeah, no, I don't like him because of the shit he's saying. Like,
Right.
oh, fuck
like
that.
his music. Okay, his music
Like-
is good, but it's not for everybody, and I understand
No, it's
that.
not for everybody.
And
it's
there's no music, I think, no artist, no genre,
No.
no nothing that is for everybody.
that's why we have a wide variety.
Right. That's why we
of
have like
genres and
40,000
artists.
genres.
I would probably argue it's more than 40,000.
I mean, yeah, probably.
But it's like, if you don't like it, and this is the other issue when it comes to like music and, you know, crowds and their fans and so on and so forth. It's unfortunate, like when you become an artist, you gain a following, you gain fans. That's fine. These are people that love your music and love what you have to say. But then you have that group in every fan group that believes that they have to act out for the artist
Right.
in the artist's name.
Right.
I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen.
Chosen was talking
stop
about
that shit.
last time. Like on
Yeah.
his last stream. He was like, I
Yeah.
don't want people to do that. And honestly, anybody who takes like an artist's words
Mm-hmm.
and is like, well, if they're not gonna do anything about it, I will. You're
Yeah.
a fucking maniac.
Yeah, like that you're taking someone's voice and twisting it to your own agenda,
Right.
which is not cool.
Like, if
Like-
you want to attack somebody, go for it. But don't attack somebody in somebody else's name.
Yeah.
Like, don't be
Like, I
like,
will-
oh,
I will
Chosen said
shut
blah,
that shit
blah,
down.
blah. And I know I keep bringing up Chosen, but that's because, you know, I actually talked to him.
Well, yeah.
But like, oh, Chosen said that you did this, this, and this. Okay, and? Like, what is
Well, not
that?
even that. It's like when you take the
Right,
the
and then
message
you
of
like
the
attack
song.
them about it, yeah.
Yeah, when you take the message of the song. So like, you know, what's a good example? I mean,
The
okay,
song
so
I'm
a
writing.
sad song. Yeah, the song you're writing, or like a sad song in general,
Right.
right? You have an
Any
artist
song
that
about
writes,
a breakup, really.
Yeah, any song about a breakup, or this, if you want to name like Ariana Grande's
Thank you, next.
"Thank You Next."
Yeah.
So I saw so many people get pissed off about that song, and it's like, why are y'all getting mad? Did y'all date her? No.
Right.
Did y'all go through this
Or
heartbreak?
like Taylor
No.
Swift, where she writes a song about every ex she's ever had.
Okay, now. Yes, I agree. How about break up with your girlfriend? Hey,
Yeah, I mean, that's a bop, first of all. Love that song. But also,
But it's
yeah, like if you take that song, people could attack Ari for that song. People were
they
actually
did attack Ari for that
because
song.
because like, yeah, that's a shitty thing to do.
And well, I wouldn't even say that's a shitty thing to do, to be honest.
I mean, okay,
like
if you
when you
listen,
think
this
about
is
it,
this is why I understand why people were attacking her. If you were dating somebody and some other person came up to them and they were like, "Hey, break up with Grizz for me." That would be shitty.
yeah, no, that would be terrible.
Right. So I
And
understand why
honestly,
people
the
are
person that
attacking
I
her
am,
for
I'd
it.
be-
Right. I'd be
like,
devastated.
hunting
I'd be
down
like, "Holy
down,
fuck."
and I'd be like, yo, listen, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Right. But the thing is that in the song, she didn't actually do anything wrong.
No, she was just what the song was.
She was like flirting
Was
with
that-
him, and that's
Not even that. Like when you look at the basis of that song, she was saying was she was going through her experiences of her past relationships, if they not even just her past, but like her most recent relationships between Mac Miller and Pete Davidson and
Right.
so on and so forth. When you look at the basis of the song, was it kind of like witty and satire? A little bit.
Yeah.
But it was also saying like, hey, thank you for showing me lessons about myself that I didn't know. Thank you for showing me who you were and
right.
being
Like,
vulnerable.
"Thank You Next" is such a good song.
Yes, thank you for being with me, even though you may not have liked me and I may not have liked you, but it just
Or
didn't
even
work,
though it
so
didn't work out, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna move on to the next person. That's all "Thank You Next" is.
Right.
It's not making fun of the breakup. She's actually thanking them for
Right.
doing what
It's
they
like
were
a
doing.
positive
it just
song
didn't
about them.
work out. Yeah, it just did not fucking work out. But people were like, "This is so insulting and it's embarrassing the artist." I don't think I
Whatever. No,
ever.
it's not.
When I watched an interview with Mac Miller and they asked him how did he feel about that song, and he said, "I fucking loved it." And I'm like, "See,
Right.
see, you stupid fox."
Pete also loves the song, if we're being
Yeah.
honest. Did you know she's
Pete's
married
also a
now?
comedian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but when did it hurt them? Yes. But can we speak for their hurt? No. So stop doing it.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Please.
But anyway, the artists on the screen are all artists that I found through TikTok. I don't know if that's actually where they came from. I know Addison Rae did definitely come through TikTok. Or
Can
Addison
I just
Grace.
say Nick D? Nick D is a great artist.
Oh, he's so good.
Nick is so, and their podcast is so hilarious.
Oh yeah, I see snippets of
Like-
it on TikTok all the time.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I should
But, like,
actually
I
watch
think-
the podcast someday.
I think I officially, and I might be wrong about this, I haven't looked in like a minute, but I think I found Nick through YouTube and not TikTok, but I didn't know that I did because I think Nick curates the YouTube channel Nourish
Maybe.
that does all of the like lo-fi R&B
Right.
music. I have to double check that. Like fact check me somebody if you want to. But like I think cuz I remember
Well, he also used to have like super long hair.
yeah, there's that. But I think I officially was exposed to Nick during like through Nourish. Because I found Nourish on YouTube and then started following the channel on Spotify, and there's so many good songs on there. And then when I found the podcast that him and his buddy did through TikTok, I was like, that man looks familiar. And then he started.
I know this man's.
I followed his personal TikTok, and I was like, that's where I know you from.
Right.
Your music.
Yeah.
And then I just started following him from there, and he's such a good dude.
Yeah, I was following Addison on TikTok before she decided to start making, or they decided to make music. And then they started making music, and they just put out a song that says, "I wish I were a boy." And for any like trans, like female to male, or even just like non-binary people, that song slaps. I mean, the song slaps anyway, but like, if you, like, that's such a feeling that I know a lot of people can resonate with, me included. I don't always wish I were a boy, but, like, sometimes being a boy would be easier.
Oh, can I ask? Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be a personal question.
Okay.
You don't have to answer it. Can I ask you why you think that is?
Okay, so I don't, listen. 100%, I do not think being a boy or a girl is an easier option either way. But women get like so much like sexist stigmatisms, and also men don't have to get periods.
That is true.
Periods suck a lot.
Well, I think men do go through something. It's just not as intense.
Yeah, it's not. There's not like pain. It's just emotional.
Yeah, we don't bleed.
Also, anything that bleeds for 7 days and still lives should be feared.
It's Satan.
But like, as society goes, like, straight white men get treated better than literally everybody else. I mean, unless they're called out on being a straight white male, but like, in general, being a straight cis white dude is societally superior than being anything else. And I mean, being like a straight cis white woman is pretty close underneath that, but I'm not that. I am not straight. I am non-binary. So in my mind, if I were a boy, because I am white, so even gay men are treated better than a lot of other people in society. Because in society, if you're not white, and this is wrong, and I know this is wrong, and I'm not supporting this fact at all, but it is a fact. In society, if you are not white, you are seen as less. And
yeah.
I mean, per individual, like, I don't believe that, and I don't think that should be the case, but that currently is the case.
I think, and in the world, the majority of the world would stand with you on that.
Right.
Like,
so
that's been the whole thing for the past couple of years.
So, like, sadly, that is the case.
Yeah.
And it should not be.
And unfortunately, you know, as a guy, unfortunately, the way it's set up, and I say set up because this is just how society has been built. And I will openly say that. It is a built society. The way things are now were put in place hundreds of years ago, and unfortunately, people that have been put in power see it as this is how it's going to be because it keeps them in power, unfortunately.
And literally, Thomas Jefferson, the man who wrote the Constitution, has said that it should be rewritten every X amount of years. Like, he literally said that while they were writing it. But that fact, one, does not help those in power stay in power. And it like nobody, like it's not a fact that's even taught. So
Yeah.
to know
Like-
that, you have to go research that.
Well, not even then. It's just like, just the whole situation as a whole. So when you look
Right.
at it, like how you said, you know, in society, and unfortunately it is true, if you're a
We're working on changing
You're-
it, but as
Yeah,
of
if
right
you're-
now,
if
the way
you're a-
society is built,
yeah, it's unfortunately that the system has it set to where, and I don't want everybody to like get your panties in a wad when I
Right.
say system. I say system as a general whole. I'm not
Like
saying
society.
you know, system. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
society as a whole has been constructed to be where, and just from my observation, it keeps everybody else at each other's throats so that we have to depend on the system to fix it.
yep.
When really, if we want change, it has to come down to individual standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to look at what's in front of you and go, this is wrong. Let me figure out what I need to do. And I'll tell you, if you had like a group of people that do that,
Right.
and then let them go out in society, things would change.
Right. The problem is that nobody thinks individually they can do anything.
I don't know what happened. It was like somewhere between 2013 and 2014, where like the majority of America as a whole was like, yeah, we're not gonna.
This is how it be.
Yeah, this is just how it be. We're just gonna let them do
It
it. For
is what it is. No,
Yeah, 'cause,
it's
like,
not.
Because like back in the day, people used to research.
Well, and the
People
other
would
thing,
look shit up on their own.
the other
People
thing
would be
is
out
that
smoking.
when people, like when Obama was elected, people thought something had changed because now we had a black president. But just because we had a black president doesn't mean anything, because now we're back to white old men. But like, the thing that people don't understand is the minimum age for a president is 35, right? So the last like 2 presidents we've had, like Trump and Biden, are so old. Like that's just a fact. They're old as fuck. And as we previously mentioned, old white men like to keep the system running how it is because it keeps old white men in power. I think that we should just wipe out the Congress. Like, get everybody out of there and put a whole bunch of newer, younger
Well,
people
so
who
that-
still know what they're doing. Is
That
the
I
thing.
will say is that I do personally believe that Congress in itself
Should have
needs
a
to have a
term.
term.
Yeah.
It needs to have a term because you have Congress members that have been in office since like the 60s. That
Yeah.
is way too long.
Right.
That is way too
And
long.
like the ratio, going back to the why would being a man be easier, the ratio of men to women in Congress is astronomically leaning towards men. Like,
But we're starting to see a change in that.
we are, and that's
And it's
great.
good.
But it's
No,
still
I'm not saying that's like a big point, but it is good. I will say, in my opinion, it is nice to see
women.
that we are starting to see more come into office.
Yeah.
And from different like areas
Right.
of life.
Also,
you know?
like, as much as I hate the old white man that is currently in office, I mean, I don't super hate Biden, but that's whatever. His vice president is a woman who's not white. So, like, we are getting somewhere, but it's so fucking slow
Yeah.
that it literally seems like nothing's happening.
But that's politics. That's
right,
what I'm
politics takes forever to do anything, which is
Because
why
you
I think
have-
we just need to wipe out the Congress.
saying. Because you have Congress and then you have the president. The president makes a decision, but it has to go through Congress. And if Congress doesn't like it, they send it back to the president. And then the president has to make another decision
Right.
and push it through
It has
Congress.
to. It's like a
That's
ping
the
pong game.
problem. That is the problem.
And
Nothing
okay,
can get done because you have a ping pong game
all right, hold on. I'm gonna
between
switch
the
this
leader
back
of
to
the
this for a minute.
nation and the group of people.
So I love that this is a music podcast and we're talking about politics.
How did we get here?
I don't remember.
How did we turn
Oh,
down this
because
topic?
I was talking about the song "If I Wish I Were a Boy," And then we got started talking about straight white men.
Yeah.
And that led to the government because
I asked the question. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna stop this conversation.
Music is an avenue that it can just be whatever, you know. It can be an avenue for voices. It can be an avenue for awareness. It can be an avenue for empowerment. It can be an avenue for healing. I can't tell you. There's not a day that goes by where I'm not sitting here and listening to music. Because music is my getaway. Music, just like everybody else. Sometimes I don't like being on Earth. I don't like being in reality. So where do I go? I go to my music. Music is just that thing that allows you to take an avenue to better yourself, in my opinion. You know, and that's the best part about it. That's the best part about like artists and who they are as a whole. Now, granted, I don't agree with some artists simply just because of their standpoint and what they're using their music for. Like, I'll tell you this right now. Tekashi 6ix9ine, great example. I hate his music.
Me too.
I do. But here's the thing. If we're gonna talk about this, here's what I can this is the only thing I can really respect the guy on, is that he willingly came onto an interview and said, my music is garbage. My music is trash. But y'all motherfuckers are buying it because you like it. He's like, I
know my music is garbage and y'all still like it, so that's on you.
No, not only that, but he's like, he's hustling. He's a hustler.
Right.
He's making his money where he knows he can make his money, and he's doing it well. He's playing a game. I have to respect that. Homie saw an avenue
Respect the player.
To better his wealth, and he played the game, and it worked. Because y'all got people out there that are just like, yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine music is dope. It's garbage. He even said
he knows it's garbage.
It's trash. But y'all are paying him. But going back to pop music, yeah, TikTok has become a hub finding new music.
Yeah.
Like, there have been so many cool hip-hop artists that
like,
I found.
I wish Chosen would put his music on TikTok.
He has.
Has he?
He put Menace on TikTok.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it? Oh, he did such a good job on the announcement.
I'm gonna go find it now.
So good.
I'm gonna go find it now. TikTok artists, great. Okay. So I've been on TikTok since it was Musical.ly, like way back then.
I remember that.
Right, like way back then. I've basically been on TikTok like since Musical.ly started. Like I was there for the beginning. I'm an OG, okay? I have like 15,000 followers on TikTok. My TikTok is the same as my Twitch if y'all want to go follow me. So yes, TikTok is the spot, which means we get to talk about Chosen now.
I'd agree. This is the one thing that we all have been wanting to talk about. So you had like specific questions about this topic, because I remember you asking me some of them.
Yeah, okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, which everybody watching our stream right now should know, Grizz makes Chosen's beats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying
Not all of them though.
Not all of them.
Collective of us.
Right. There's there's more than just you.
Mm-hmm.
But when he says, like in Menace, it says Shino.
Yes.
That's Grizz. That's Grizz's TikTok, is Shino. He Chosen tagged Grizz in his Menace video on TikTok.
Yes.
So, as far as, like, the process, does Chosen come up with the lyrics first, or do you come up with the beat first?
It's kind of a mix. It all depends on what's happening at that point. Like, so most of the time, it starts off with me just being curious
and making beats because why not?
If there's a vibe that I'm feeling, I try and find something that fits that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I am mainly a sampler.
Right.
I am working on I'm still practicing, instruments and so on and so forth because I want to branch out. But I am the practitioner of the old school way of making beats, and that is sampling, chopping them up, and turning it into a different sound, I guess.
Yeah, but that's what samples are for.
Well, I wouldn't say it's what they're
Mostly.
for, but it's
Well-
a technique that was developed, and then companies.
Well, yeah,
took
but
it-
people know that if they're putting samples out, that's probably what they're going to be used for.
Yeah. I normally it normally starts off with like me and how my work process is, and what I'll do is I sample from different many ways. Like I love to crate dig. For those that don't know what crate digging is, it's literally just looking for records.
Mm-hmm.
And I started off mainly just going with what I know, and that's, hip hop derives off of jazz, soul, and like R&B samples. That's where most of like the whole foundation of hip hop was based off of, is jazz, soul, and R&B.
Which is why this tile says rap, hip hop, and R&B on it, because those get like thrown together all the time.
I would say rap and hip hop get thrown together more than R&B.
Well, if you like look at like genres, most of the time they say hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
So that's why I threw it in there. But I wouldn't say like rap and R&B are mutually exclusive, but hip hop kind of includes rap and R&B. Whereas like
they all like rap or hip hop and R&B get lumped up together simply just because of like the foundations of what the music is built off of. Because when you look at hip hop and R&B, or even then when you look at rap, like rap still samples, but rap is lower. And this is just from like
Eminem samples. And Eminem is like one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Yeah, but it's like each genre has it's like eating certain foods. I don't know if y'all have ever heard like the sound, like the term mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
Each category have their own feels to them depending on what kind of sample or what sounds that the producer is going to use.
Right.
So like, when you're looking at Logic or even like my stuff with Chosen, or even some of Eminem stuff, but like, grouped together, like Logic and Eminem are going to be technically grouped together most of the time, just because of the feel of like the sounds that come out of
I would
their
group
music.
NF and Eminem more than I would group Logic and Eminem.
NF and Eminem definitely come from the same cloth. Well, kind of from the same cloth.
I would say that they're the same cloth, but like opposite sides. If that makes sense.
We're a lot closer than what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like they're the way that a lot of old Eminem stuff. I can say that NF will correspond with, but like new Eminem.
To put it this way,
Eminem,
the first time I heard NF, I thought it was Eminem until I like really listened to it. Yeah. Because he sounds like what he's saying isn't the same as Eminem, but the way he sounds
his pronunciations and his mannerisms.
Right. It sounds so similar to Eminem that when I wasn't like fully paying attention to the song, I really thought it was Eminem. Which is why I would put them together before I would put Logic and him together.
Yeah. Vocally, they're together. I would say that they're in the same boat. But when it comes to like music analysis, NF may sound like Eminem, and his vocals may drive the music like Eminem does. But when you break it down to like production and the flow, like I said, NF corresponds more with old school Eminem, where Logic and the new Eminem stuff that we're hearing is, to me, is the closest thing. Because like back in the day, Eminem was the shock factor when he came into the game.
Right. Well, that's because he was a white boy.
Not only that, but he was a trailer park, technically, if you want to count it. He was this white trash dude that knew how to rap and got picked up in the rap game, and then started literally flipping it on his head.
Yeah, vomit on his sweater already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Dr. Dre picked him up. That's something that everyone forgets, is like Dre found Eminem. Yeah. And he stood by him, and he still stands by him.
I'm sorry. So the reason these people are on the screen, Chosen's on the screen for obvious reasons. Because we both know him and we wanted to talk about him, so he got put on here.
Mm-hmm.
My friends tell me that I have a thing for white boys. Now, Logic is mixed. He looks white, but he's mixed. But everybody else on here, again, other than Chosen, is a white rapper. And in my defense, I feel that I can relate more to quote unquote white people problems.
Well, see, the thing is though, is like this is the issue, and this is, and I'm not like saying this like, or I don't want it to sound like disrespectful or anything, but like me personally, I don't understand what it is about categorizing music on the color of your skin.
Right.
I don't.
Me
Like,
either. Like, I mean, they're just good rappers. So why does it matter that they're white?
Well, it's just like if you look at somebody, and you go, oh, you like this dude because he's white, it's like, have you not listened to the music?
Right. If
Like,
okay, if Dre had looked at Eminem and been like, oh, he's white, his problems are only gonna relate to white people.
But the thing is like, it's like white people problems. Like,
right, like people
stop
have
doing
problems,
that.
dude.
Like, if you, so let's take the problems, right? Let's look at Eminem's life. Now, granted, I don't know.
I mean,
Eminem's
Eminem started
biography.
as literally trailer trash.
Yeah, I don't know Eminem's biography. I don't know where NF came from. I don't know where Knox Hill came from.
I mean, Eminem kind of
So on and
sings
so
his
forth.
biography in like every song.
But that's what I'm saying, because that's where he comes from.
But like,
know?
I mean, there's still stuff that he doesn't talk about in his music.
Because those are all personal.
Right.
But like, when you look at Eminem's problems, he came from a trailer park
Mm-hmm.
where his mom, I think, was a junkie,
Yeah.
a drug addict. He was taking care of his little sister most of the time while
Mhm.
also working while he was still a teenager. And then she'd bring in these dudes that were just like pieces of shit. You
Mhm.
know, Eminem went through some stupid shit. But then you also look at Logic, who is biracial, and his brother was in the gang system. His father was a drug addict.
Mhm.
You know,
Like they have similar problems.
it's not even similar. They're cut from the same cloth.
Right.
You can't, like, I hate it when people goes like, this rapper got white people problems, this dude's got black people problems. Like, no, they're just problems.
They're just people problems. Like,
Yeah, like,
if anything,
you-
it's like poor people problems.
it's exactly, it's the same boat.
Family problems, exactly. Glenn.
Family problems, drug problems. They're all the same fucking problems.
Right.
So, like,
Fucking NF
what
has
really-
mental problems. Not white
Yeah.
people problems, mental problems. Mental illness
and-
does not care about the color of your fucking skin.
Instead of, and that's the thing, is like, I wish people would stop saying that. Like, stop. We already categorize everything else in the fucking world.
For
Like,
real.
stop doing it. Stop fucking doing it, because all you're doing is just feeding into it and making
I
it
honestly
and it's
wish-
just gonna stay longer.
I honestly wish, as much as like genres help people find the music that they like I know that I like rap music. That's a genre. I wish that we didn't have to have so many fucking subgenres. Like folk country or like
Well,
whatever.
the
Like
reasons
I
that.
understand the point is to like help people find the music that they like
Yeah,
without finding music that they don't like. Because, you know, some people like folk country, but they don't like what most people would consider regular country. I get
Mhm.
it. But also, like, the fact that we have to break it down into such small categories for people to find what they like honestly bothers me a little bit. I understand it, and I get it, and it's really
Well-
nice, and it's really simple, but
that comes from the influx of music. But
Right.
like, so I can see where you're coming from, and then like that it can get annoying. But at the same time, when you look at it as a whole, it's a great thing, because it's like, with all these subgenres, that means there are tons and tons of talented people bringing something different. Don't get me wrong, all music in some aspect or form is gonna sound the same, but what really makes you stand out is how you bring you into the equation and make it yours.
Mhm.
Like that's why there's so many different subgenres.
Right.
So like rap, hip hop, R&B. Okay, yeah. If you look at them as a whole, they all are on the same foundation,
Mhm.
but they technically all sound different.
Right.
Rap can be corresponded more with like trap music or hard trap or hard rap, you know, like heavy beats, heavy 808, in your face, just raw dirty, right?
Yeah.
Hip hop's foundation, like I said, comes from like mostly sampling or break beats. Hip hop is break beats. Back in the day, hip hop was literally just break beats with soul and a dude with a record player.
Mhm.
Like that's where hip hop was, in my opinion, hip hop and rap was born in the streets. It was for younger people. It was a rebellion to get away from like disco music.
Hey, thanks
And
for the follow, Conscious.
that's the generation of hip hop. Is like it's raw. It knocks. It's not the social norm when it comes to the foundation of what music was supposed to be.
Right. Even disco was a rebellion. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But
was
disco then became mainstream. And
yeah.
so then there was new music born as a rebellion to that. And that's really, if you think all the way back to like how music was created, it was created in a rebellion.
Music is a medicine.
Right,
period.
Exactly.
Music is a like I said, music is every outlet that you can think of. It's a form of rebellion. It's a form of medicine. It's a form of
ska is rebellion.
What is ska?
Aggressive trumpets.
Ah, okay, yeah. That's a form of rebellion.
I want somebody who like actually listens to ska to like yell at me for that, because
I don't think I can actually like aggressively or listen to aggressive trumpets.
No, I can't. But that's what I know ska to be, is aggressive trumpets. It's like if you took EDM but made the beats trumpets. Crumpets. Like, in my opinion, that's what ska is. I don't listen to ska, so I couldn't actually tell you that, but I know, the one thing I know about ska is aggressive trumpets. And I love a good trumpet, but aggressive trumpets, and it's like only trumpet.
Ugh.
It's not good. I don't like
That'll
ska.
hurt my ears. See, that's the point. That's what music is as a foundation. It is literally, it's an outlet. That's all music has ever been. It's an outlet. Jazz was a rebellion. Jazz was born
Jazz was
in
a big
Harlem
rebellion.
during the Great Depression era.
Mm-hmm.
It was a form of rebellion. It was it was born in America. In, what did I say? My brain. Like, I just had Harlem. Yeah, it was born in Harlem by African Americans who did not want to fit the social norms of music. They were tired of it.
For real.
And it's great. You want to know why it's great? Because when jazz was made, everything else was made. Rock and roll, blues, like hip hop, rap, everything stems from jazz, from the creation of jazz. And if you think I'm wrong, go look it up. When you listen to metal, when you listen to rock and roll, chord progressions were made because of jazz. Thinking outside the box was made because of jazz. Drummers, you would not have the greatest drummers alive today if they did not study jazz. Or the great drummers of old. Because it was the great drummers of old that were like, I can put these things together and smack the living shit out of them with a rhythm. And it's the greatest thing ever. Because what it did is it made people want to move. It gave people the solidarity to like literally dance their hearts out all damn night, because that's what they used to do. They literally used to drink, dance, and smoke all damn night. And then they would go to work the next day and then come back and do it again. But back to what we've been saying, or back to the topic. When it comes to the creative process, It normally comes down to I will make something, and if I think I like it, or if I think Droid will like it, I'll let him know like, hey, yo, I made something, and it'll be like a little 4-bar loop, right? But it'll come down to I'll make like this 4-bar loop that I'm vibing with, and I'm like, okay, can I picture him or can I picture somebody on this? And I'm like, yeah, I can see a word flow vibing with this. And then I'll hit him up like, hey, yo, I made this beat. And sometimes, and here's the thing, it's like I'm not just working with Droid. Like we have a collective group that we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's me, Droid, and 2 other people.
But yeah, like it's not no form of music, no song or anything is usually one person.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
like,
I know there's people that do it, but
they can't perform it all. I mean, I've seen people do it, but it's hard.
It's hard.
But when it comes to the creative process, you know, because you asked, does Droid write the lyrics first or do you do the music first? And 9 times out of 10, or it's like it's a 50-50, because Droid will hit me up with something that he wrote one time, and then I'm like, okay, I hear that word flow. Do I have anything that can match that? And if I do, I'm like, yo, try it on this, and he'll like it. Or I'm like, yo, I've got this 4-bar loop. Tell me what you think. Are you vibing with it? And 9 times out of 10, he'll go, yeah, I'm vibing with that. And he's like, maybe, you know, slow it down or speed it up. And he's like, I can work with that. And that's how we get rolling.
Right.
But when it comes to like the other 4 on this page, to be honest, I'm not like a big Eminem fan. Like my homie Jonathan
used to be.
My boy Jonathan loves Eminem, but he loved it so much that he studied Eminem and became a lyricist. And he's honestly like, between him and Droid and like my boy Dio, which like I said, we're all working together, like we're trying to get something started, like they're all great lyricists. And Jonathan worked on his craft by studying, you know, Eminem. But I can't bring myself to say that I'm an Eminem fan. The only one that I would say I've derived inspiration from is Logic. Simply just because Logic likes to stick to that old school like boom bap type, like 90s boom bap type feel, but with his own twists on it.
Right.
That, and I'm inspired by his work ethic, you know. I first found Logic back in 2014.
I like a lot of Eminem's like older stuff. Like
I'm not even a big fan of Eminem's like older stuff, to be honest with you. Like if it came on the radio, I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice, and I'll leave it on the radio.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, like the thing that I do is I find people or just a singular song by them that I really like, and then I learn every fucking word of that song. Like Eminem's song "Beautiful," I could rap, no problem.
Yeah, but
that's
stuff like that,
one
like,
song.
It's iconic. Yeah, it's iconic.
Right.
But it's like, to me, when I hear "Beautiful," I'm like, oh yeah, I know this song, but I let it play in the background.
Right,
but
like you're
when
not.
I look at him,
you wouldn't go search out Eminem's music to listen to music.
Yeah, if you went through any of my playlists on my Spotify, you would probably only find like 1 or 2 Eminem songs.
Right.
And those are like mostly just features. Like Godzilla goes in. Godzilla's hard as fuck.
Godzilla goes hard.
Godzilla. And then the one that he did, the collaboration he did with Joyner Lucas and Logic, like that shit went hard.
Yeah.
But like I can't. But and it's just mostly just because, you know, it's like it's not my cup of tea. You know?
I mean,
Eminem, and don't get me wrong, that's nothing against Eminem. Eminem is a legend, and no one will beat him in what he does. But he's an icon because he brought a system into a familiar genre like hip hop and rap, and he brought what he could that was different to the game.
Right.
And that was his amazing word flow, his speed. Like Busta Rhymes is a fast rapper.
Yeah, he is.
And Eminem pretty much brought himself from the ground up and matched himself with Busta Rhymes.
Have you ever listened to Watsky?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna do this. Watsky. Have you ever listened to Epic Rap Battles?
Yes.
Did you watch the Shakespeare one?
No.
Okay, well, he plays Shakespeare. He literally, it says here, went on. He has the Guinness World Record for longest rapping marathon of 33 hours, 33 minutes, and 19 seconds.
Hey, that's yeah.
Which is insane. But also, he raps super fast, but he does it so clean. Like, you
well,
can.
yeah.
That's the trick with rapping fast and not being a mumble rapper.
Yeah. You can't. My thing is you can't rap fast without pronunciation.
Right.
If you're going to try and do these things, you're gonna have to practice it. Like, if you think you can just jump in the game and start spitting flows, but you're not pronunciating your mannerisms and your vowels and things like that. If your words start running together, you're not doing it.
Right.
I hate to break it to you. You're not doing it.
Which is honestly
Because-
like one of the reasons why I wouldn't call myself a rapper. Because, yeah, I can rap Eminem songs and I can rap NF songs. But that's because I'm following their pronunciation. If I try to rap that shit by myself, I become a mumble rapper and I hate it. Which is why I just don't do it.
If someone looks at you and goes, yeah, I'm a rapper because I can rap the whole Eminem, like, Godzilla song. No, you're not a rapper. You're a fan.
You're a fan.
You just practice
right.
this.
Like, that's... Yeah. So I call myself a rap fan, and instead of, like, trying to be a rapper, I just write words and then give them to other people. Like Chosen.
Well, and the thing is like, rapper is a very... if I became a rapper, my career would be over in 2 seconds. Yeah. I see.
In
the
0.2
thing is,
seconds, she said.
Rapping, when it comes to, like, rapping, and here's the thing, when you use the word, like, rapper...
Right.
It's the same correspondence in, like, hip hop. Like, dudes that do, like, that write for hip hop music and boom bap music, they'll say, I'm a lyricist, or I'm a what are they I had the word in my head and I can't remember it now. You're a writer.
Right.
And the thing is, it's just like, they're different terms for different subjects, but you're still the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, rapper, lyricist, MC.
There it
like,
is. Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
You're just in different subgenres of the same thing. All rapping is poetry. When you break down a rap song, or when you break down a lyric or lyrics from, like, a hip hop song, rap song, or a boom bap song, it's all poetry.
Yeah.
Whether it be simple poetry or complex poetry.
And I can write poetry for days. But you ask me to put it on a beat and, like,
that's where
figure it out comes in. I can't do that, and I know I can't do that, which is why I don't call myself any of that. That's why I call myself a poet or a lyricist, because you're just writing words.
That's the difference between a lyricist and a poet.
Yeah.
A lyricist can write poetry and put it into music.
I mean,
because when you think about it, music is poetry.
I can put... Like, if I were to look at, say, the lyrics that I wrote, the suited up, whatever. If I look at that, I can sit here and I can put, like, a metronome behind it to put it into, like, how fast it would be rapped or sung or whatever. But I can't make the beat, and I can't actually rap or sing it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, because the thing is like, there's more context behind rapping and being a lyricist and so on and so forth that you actually technically really need to know. Like, singing. You can write something, but trying to find the tone of the song is literally the hardest part. Mm-hmm. You can write songs all day, but if you don't know music, you're not gonna do it.
And, like, the thing is, the thing that's really funny, right? I was in chorus and band, but I cannot read sheet music. So people are like, but you were in that. How can you? No, I would match pitch mostly. Like, I knew in band it was easier. Like, I can't read it anymore. I could probably figure it out. It would just take me a hot minute. But in band it was easier to read the sheet music because the note would depend on what fucking holes you're covering on your instrument. But when you're singing, most of the time I match pitch when I sing. So I don't like to sing without the music because there's no pitch to match.
And that's the thing is like when you're singing along to a song, you have the note in your ear.
Right.
You can match pitch. But that's what separates a that's what I'm saying. That's what separates a singer
Yep.
from the rest is because you need to know what the tone is going to be, and then you need to be able to match the music. Most singers write their songs while playing music.
Yeah.
Because they have to figure out that tone.
Right, because they'll
song.
like play the chords while writing the song.
Yeah, in my opinion, you need to know the basics of songwriting. And people think, well, songwriting is just a pen and a paper. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You need to have knowledge on music theory.
Which is why I sent you the lyrics.
Basic. Yeah, at least. Well, I'll even tell you this: I don't even know music theory that much.
Well, no, but like you do beats. So if you're reading it, and I said, some of this is going to be sung and some of it's going to be rap, you can hear the flow and kind of hear a beat that you could put into it. I can't do any of that. I can hear the flow, but ask me to put a beat behind those lyrics and I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Which is why I'm a poet.
I see what you're saying.
Like, I know how I want the song to flow based on how I wrote it.
Yeah.
But if somebody was like, oh, what beat would you put behind that? I'd go, I don't know, Grizz, what would you do? Like,
yeah.
Because I have no idea.
And that's kind of the job of like a producer,
right.
No matter if you're amateur or not. Like, if you have an artist that's just like, I have this, do you think you can make something to correspond with this? Then yeah.
Right.
That's where at that point that singer or lyricist gets their tone, because they leave it up to the producer to find that sound. And you know, that's how kind of like me and Droid correlate with each other most of the time, or Chosen. Is that I'm not used to calling him Chosen. I call him
whatever.
Droid. But
most people who hear us know we're talking about the same person.
Yeah. But that's why him and I work well. Like, we've been friends for like a hot minute. And we don't even call each other friends anymore. We're family. Like, we treat each other like family. And it comes down to, there will be times where I'll be working and I'm like, I just don't know where this could go. And then he'll start saying something and writing something, and it is like, how did that feel? I'm like, give me a minute. You know, we feed off of each other.
Right.
Because I'll have like a block, and then I'll send him what I got, and he'll send something back, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I can take that.
Oh, I know what to do now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where this can go now. Because sometimes it's like, sometimes the tone of this music will drive the lyricist, but sometimes the words of the lyricist will drive the tone of the music. You know? And it's such a fun ecosystem to be in. Like, I don't think I've ever had a time where I hated working with anybody when it comes to music. Ever.
Well, that's good. Because that helps my ego.
What do you mean?
Well, because, you know, you're not going to hate me if I start doing lyrics.
No, like, if you come to me and you're like, I want to try and do this, I'm going to do my best to put you where you want to be. With the skills that I have and the stuff that I've already learned and I'm continuing to learn, I will do everything in my power to put you where you want to be. So, like, for example, Droid hits me up a couple months ago out of the blue. You know, and him and I have been experimenting with making music together. You know, we've been doing it left and right. And like I said, we're working on a collective of we have a group right now that we're trying to get together and organize and come up with something. But he hits me up a couple months ago and he's like, yo, I really want to do an album.
We need a Chosen album, if we're being honest. Well,
and the thing is like, you know, most normal people would be like, why? Why do you want to do that? You know, with his stupid questions. The moment he hits me with, you know, I want to do an album, I'm like, bet. When we getting started? You know? And that's the fun thing about, you know, just being a producer.
Right.
It's like you get to work with people and you get to see their passion, which feeds your passion. Because you're just like, an album? bet now it's time to it's time to bring myself to 100% and give everything that I can, because not only am I representing him, but I'm representing his dream. You know, that's how at least I see it.
Well, and
Like,
also, you know, with him coming to you about it, he's gonna rep you, and then if you want other opportunities, like if you want to work with other people, getting your name out there helps with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes down to that. You know, the producer represents the artist, but the artist also represents the producer, because you know, you collaborated to make this thing. But it's just like, you know, like I said, I've always seen Droid as family, you know, and it's like, I don't even see it as me trying to further my career. You know, to me, it's like, my little brother honors me enough to think, like, to come to me first about making music with him. I'm gonna do my damnedest to put him where he wants to be. That's just my mindset on it.
Little brother,
You know,
Grizz, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh, okay.
And then, I mean, I do that with everyone that we're working with. You know, my boy Dio. I've only known Dio for 6 months, and that was because, you know, I met him through a mutual family member of mine that's stationed over in Okinawa. You know, he was the guy that I met him through. I call him older brother. You know, big brother Brandon. He was my first RO when I was stationed at my first duty station. He was one of the greatest dudes. He took me under his wing, took care of me when I was a young airman, taught me the ropes, everything, so on and so forth. And we became family. And then he went to Japan, met Dio, got to meet him, enjoyed having him around, because that's how we normally are. Like, if we meet you and you're cool, but you're like, we don't vibe with you, we'll be respectful, but, you know, we're not going to invite you to the cookout. You know, we'll address your presence and we'll be nice to you and be friends with you, but, you know, family's family. We don't want someone who's going to potentially cause problems.
I mean, yeah.
He told when I met Dio, he was like, yeah, he's a young cat, just like I met you, into the same things that you are. He's like, I want you to meet him. It's like, I think he needs to meet you. So we got in touch with each other, and the dude's fucking talented. And so I'm sitting here, and I was like, I got Droid on one hand. That's little brother number one. I got little brother number two, and then I got my boy Jonathan, who is an amazing lyricist, who's wanting to do the same thing. And I was like, why the fuck are we just sitting around not doing anything?
Right.
Like,
we've got all these people. Why aren't we doing shit?
Right? It's like, we've got all this collective talent. How the fuck are we not doing this shit?
Right.
So when Droid hit me up and he's like, yo, I want to make an album, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. This is how it gets started, you know? And that's just been the journey, like, so far. And it's even greater, it's even better, because like it gives me the motivation to continue learning.
Right.
And when it came to like the artists that you brought up for the topics today, it's a great topic, because I can't really say for NF or Knox Hill. Like I said, I don't actively listen to them, but I actively listen to Logic, and I do listen to Eminem, and that's where a lot of my foundation came from. I first started making beats when I first heard Logic. Logic was the artist that convinced me that I could do this. I've always loved music. I've always been a music kid. You know, I was a drummer in high school. And I was like, man, it can't be that hard. It's hard.
I wanted to be a drummer in high school.
No, to make beats. Y'all think it's literally just putting samples together?
It's not.
No, it's more than that. It's not that easy. It is not that easy, man.
My boyfriend's trying to make beats on his fucking phone. Like, he downloaded some app and he's making beats on his phone.
Do what you gotta do, man.
I haven't heard any of them, but I mean, whatever.
Here's my thing. If the Suicide Boys can start their journey through GarageBand, through making beats through GarageBand on a laptop, you can start off a phone. That's all
I
I'm saying.
remember GarageBand.
It just takes dedication, but it also takes the motivation to learn your craft. You've got to learn what you're doing.
Exactly.
Like, listening to myself from like that first month up to like after these 5 years, I have come a long way and I've learned a lot. But like when it comes to Logic, or when it comes to my music, I stem more towards like the 90s boom bap, but that's only just because I like that sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love 90s boom bap because it is those dope ass samples from like soul music, jazz, and then you've got those drum breaks. Man, those when it comes to the drum breaks, when it comes to hip hop, like the sound of a gritty drum set is so nice.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's got a bounce that
Mm-hmm.
just makes you want to just get into it. Which is funny because it's like, the topic was R&B versus hip hop versus rap.
Yeah.
And like I said, they all fit in the same boat. They all have that bounce. They all stem from the same foundation. It's just the different tones.
Mm-hmm.
R&B typically tends to stay around a certain BPM. So does hip hop. So does rap. R&B is roughly between, depending on what kind of R&B you're listening to, you're listening between like an 85 to 100, maybe 120 beats per minute. Uh, hip or boom bap, like hip hop, you're sticking between 90 and 120. Trap, you're going from like 100 to 130, 140, 160. You're getting faster. And that's how it drives the music.
Right.
That's the difference between the three.
And this is
Like-
why I brought you on the podcast.
Like they all, if my ultimate opinion is like they're all the same thing, but they're generated for certain audiences. And they have the same knowledge, but they're made different for different purposes.
Right.
Like you would not listen to R&B in a club.
Mm-mm.
Like if you did, too many people would start getting pregnant.
For real. R&B is baby making music.
Not only that, like it's mostly that's the joke. Is like it's baby making music, but it's like it's more somber.
Yeah.
It's more lyric and story driven.
I mean, there's
Whereas, like-
literally a playlist on Spotify called R&B Baby Makers.
No, I know.
Like, I know that it's not
I have
solely
it on
baby
my phone 'cause
making
I was
mu-
actually
yeah.
listening to it.
right. I know that it's not solely baby making music, but like that's the joke because of the beats per minute and the tone of the songs usually.
Yeah. But like nowadays, when you look at it as a whole, now you can't really say there is kind of a difference. The only difference is like the feel of the song. But
Right.
when you like, let's take a couple artists. So like you got Black, the artist Black, right?
Yeah.
When you listen to his songs are mostly like dark, melancholy, and they're talking about breakups, heartbreak, life, so on and so forth. You would generate that in R&B. But trap nowadays is starting to move in that dark, somber, melancholy feel. So most people would also say that it's R&B, but it's trap. And that's where you get these subgenres. You've got ambient trap, ambient R&B, or, Knoxville, or dark trap, dark R&B, dark boom bap, dark jazz. These subgenres are just typically made for the mood that music is set for. And then compared to I just lost his name. I cannot believe I lost this man's name because I was bumping his stuff all through high school. Shit.
Who are we talking about?
Like there were two artists that I was brought up and I had his name and I just lost it.
When were they brought up?
No, I was gonna bring him up. Like
Oh.
I had his name and I forgot.
I
I have
thought
him
you meant it
saved
was
in my
somebody.
Spotify. Yeah, no. I have him saved in my Spotify. I think he's on my
I was
travel
like,
list.
we've talked about far too many people today. Like,
Bryson Tiller.
I have no idea who that is.
Whoa. Oh.
I think I just broke Grizz's heart.
Yo, Bryson Tiller, man. Like when he came out, I was ooh-wee. If you ain't listened to him, you need to go listen to him. I don't understand.
Oh,
how you
I
haven't
just
listened to
hurt
him.
like everybody.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay,
That's
to be
something
fair, listen. Somebody asked me about a band today, and I'm so horrible with names if I don't like actively pay attention. I may know who that is, but like I'll have to listen to a song to know who it is.
What band were you asked about today?
The main.
Oh, I don't even know who that is. Sorry.
I only know like one song by them.
But like Black and Bryson Tiller, they would be counted as R&B. Like they would at a standpoint, but when you really break it down, there's a lot of trap elements mixed with R&B elements. That's the thing. They're taking a genre and they're making it their own. They're switching it up, or they're combining to make.
Oh, I know who that is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, if you've heard the that song, bum, 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 or the don't play with it, don't be this. That song, that's Bryson Tiller.
Yeah.
That's Bryson Tiller. Like, ooh.
Sorry, everybody. I've corrected my wrong. I know who that is.
Yeah, you need to listen to the whole album because the whole album is but honestly, it's like when it comes to rap, R&B, and hip hop, they're the same thing, but it's the feel that you get that changes it. You know, trap is hard hitting. Trap makes you want to trap makes you want to dance, and
right.
It's more grungy in my opinion.
See, like, when I think of trap, I think of like Troy Boy, which I think is more like EDM actually.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's trap EDM. Yeah. You're taking trap music elements and mixing it with EDM. That's why Troy Boy is kind of different.
That's why I like Troy Boy, because in all honesty, I cannot stand EDM. It gives me a headache. It's so bad. But I can listen to Troy Boy because it's not as like in your face as like actual EDM.
When I think of trap music, I think of, like Migos. Freaking Skrillex? No, Skrillex is EDM. Yeah. Skrillex is EDM.
So the way that I like categorize it is, in my brain, EDM is just beats, and I know that that's not true. But like whenever I think of like EDM music that I don't like, it's the music that is just the beat. No voice, no nothing.
Yeah. EDM.
Right.
EDM is sped up hip hop.
Yeah. So, it's the same
elements.
So
you take a break beat and then you boost it to 160, 170 BPM, and that's the basis of. I mean,
that's what Nightcore is too. Yeah. Speeding up music. But I put Skrillex in trap because Skrillex isn't just beats. And I know that that's not really what trap is, but I literally will sit here and be like, I hate EDM, but I like Skrillex. So I just kind of like throw Skrillex into the trap because I like trap music.
I think honestly, trap also correlates to like the theme of the song. Yeah. Because like when you listen to most trap, it's talking about, you got rappers that are talking about, their life in the hood and the things that they've gone through. Some of them sold drugs, some of them went to jail. That's typically like the correlation of trap. Now, I'm not saying that's all trap music. Please don't take anyone.
We're like, oh my God. As we sit here and we're like, don't murder us.
But when you listen to trap music, that's like the general basis. They're telling their story of the things that they had to do to survive. Same thing can be said about hip hop music, but also hip hop music can correlate to a lot of other things like heartbreak.
I mean, depression. Most music is a story.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you can't, when people are saying like these things are different, they're only different in the way they're made. They're only different in the feel that you get. It's like I said, it's the same with food. It's the mouth feel.
Way deep down, it's all the same.
Sushi. Yeah, some people like sushi, some people don't. Why? It's mostly a texture or smell thing. It's the same thing with music. Some people want slower beats because it's easier for them to keep up to. Whereas others like trap because it gets their energy raised. It's good dance music. You can sell it anywhere. You don't hear R&B in clubs. Right. You hear trap music and EDM in clubs. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it gets people moving.
Or like the newest hip hop.
Yeah.
It's just dancey music.
Yeah, hip hop gets people moving.
Right.
Well, but if you think about it, that's the generation of where hip hop music came from.
Yeah.
It is dancing music because hip hop was like the correlation to breakers. You had pop and lockers, you had street crews, you had breakdance crews, you had all these people that made this music so that they could express themselves in dance. It's the same with classic music and ballet, you know. But yeah, those are pretty much my opinions on like the whole subject. Is like, because I could go on and on and on, but
it's so funny because you're like talking all this technical shit about music, and I'm like, ah, like I don't,
well,
just because I don't know like a lot of the stuff, I guess. If that makes
well,
sense.
it's because like for me, you know, like I can everyone, you'll hear everyone say it, and I'm pretty sure you've heard like a lot of people say it. You've probably even said it. You know, music is life to me. Music is my life. But it was the moment where when I fully decided that I was going to take time out of my life to learn how to be a music producer, that was when it changed a little bit, where music literally became my obsession. I love listening to music. I love listening to all different types of genres. But I also like studying it, because when you really take the minute to sit down and listen to a song and then you mentally break it down, there are so many things that will, like, from a producing standpoint, that will just blow your mind. You'll start asking yourself questions. I started asking myself questions like, how do they get their kicks to hit that hard? How do they work their 808s like this? You know, how do you use an 808 as a rhythm instrument?
Right.
Those are things you start asking yourself. Like, how do I make this sound like a vinyl? Like it's coming off of a record. This is a cool effect. But that's why for me, music is life.
Thank you so much to everybody for watching and listening to Lifelux today with Grizz. I will be posting as many podcasts as I can in the next amount of time. I don't want to make any promises because getting together with people is hard to do. But thank you so much. All of my social links will be in the description, and I hope to see you at the next one.